feeling your heat. Just wanna give you my best. I don't even know your name, but you got me. 'Cause you're old to die. We don't know what happens next, but you got me. 'Cause I'm next in line. You make it look so easy, making me feel so dreamy. Now we wanna pay some drinks, but you got me. 'Cause you're old to die. Got me locked in now. Go ahead and take a shot. Do you really want me? Maybe you're just playing. The way you're making it move, yeah, you do it so smooth. Make it all about you. Can have it all if you want. Taking the chance, stuck in my head, not gonna leave you to that. Taking the lead, feeling your heat. Just wanna give you my best. Taking the chance, stuck in my head, not gonna leave you. But what's standing in our way? He doesn't mind at all. He want my juice like that. He does whatever what he feels for nobody but himself. No, yeah. He doesn't mind at all. He want my juice like that. He does whatever what he feels for nobody but himself. No, yeah. So I pull myself together. Give myself the pressure. I don't know what to do with this. Should I let him go? Go. I don't know what to do with this. Should I let him go? Go. I fall for his eyes when he's staring into mine. Know he's bad for me. So what's standing in our way? And he's out of my league. I feel insecure, but I hope this is real, yeah. He doesn't mind at all. He want my juice like that. He does whatever what he feels for nobody but himself. No, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the 5 F's to Love. I'm going to tell you tonight, I'm really excited. And you know why I'm excited? I'm excited because I need to know why my money don't make me attractive. That's what we're talking about tonight. See, ladies, I think conceptually, we think money in a different way when it comes to relationships. In our perspective, we're kind of feeling like it's bringing some extra security, but I don't think men really see it that way. I think it's a bigger picture than that, but we're going to narrow it down because you guys know when the men talk, they talk real. So let's bring them on in. What's going on, Cedric?
Hey. Good to see you again, my sister. What's good?
All right. Well, you know, we doing real talk tonight. I don't even know what to say.
Let's talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. I just want to say I don't have a way to bleep you. So, folks, this is live.
Don't worry about it.
I can't bleep them. Eric, what's going on?
What's up, Chris?
You ready?
You know, if I should be. I'm always ready.
You always ready. All right, Matt, you bringing it in from Florida.
Bringing it in. Cheers to you. We're ready for this. Let's have this conversation.
And we always know we need our voice of reason. And that's Reverend Galen McDowell.
Okay. Hey there. Good to be here.
I'm really excited about tonight. Just to let you know, it was a bigger conversation. And the conversation was really around women. And we talk about this often. We work really hard in our attitudes. We're trying to figure out why aren't we getting like a little leverage up? We can't get a little piece up, a little 0.1, a 0.5 on it when it comes to the dating scene. And so you guys are going to answer those questions. And I'm be honest with you, the questions are not just me. I'm looking at it, right? But also the women out there looking at that. So guys, are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay, so the first question tonight is, who has dated or married a woman making pretty good bank? Who's married or dated a woman making pretty good bank?
So, I out the bat, I did that. My wife is as a pharmacist. When I first met her, she was making twice the money that I was making. But I got to tell you, it's not the money, it's what the money means to the woman. And so that is the real question I think that we got to answer. What does this money mean? How is she going to act with this money? So for me, that was.
Wow. I like that. What
Well, I
is,
think
what
it's
is, I mean,
opinion.
that's actually one of the questions that we're going to be asking is, what do you think it means to a woman? So that is coming up. All right. So what about you, Galen? Have you married or dated?
Well, I'm married to one, so my wife owns is the CEO and founder of a mental health corporation. So yeah, she makes decent money.
Okay, Eric.
Chris, you know my history. Yeah, that's
Eric. So we're clear, everybody. Every guy here is my friend, and I know all of their situations, but you don't. So, Eric, have you dated or married someone making bank?
absolutely that almost exclusively.
Not almost, but exclusively. Okay, so Cedric, what about you?
Yes, I've dated multiples. All my close social circles and personal friendships are all high-end female professionals. So that's all I was around. So I was used to it. Yeah.
I love that. All right, so Art, thank you so much for joining us. This guy, he's talking about this guy. He is married to Dr. Shelley Holt, and she does make bank. She's a friend of mine as well. Both of them are. They're a wonderful couple. So he was like, this guy does. All right, so listen, that's right out the bat. So ladies, you're listening to a group of men who are experienced in this space. So where they're coming from is experience. I wanted them to understand that before we got the conversation started. Okay, so here we go. What do you think about how a woman feels her money or status makes her more attractive than the average woman?
How does it make them feel that way you're asking?
Yeah. So like, why do you think a woman feels that her money makes her more attractive than the average woman? Her money or her status?
That woman has low self-esteem, in my opinion, because if your esteem is attached to your money, you have none. If your attitude is shaped by your money, then you have none. So those women who think that they're better than the average because they make more money is delusional, because your money doesn't make you. You make the money.
So maybe she's not coming from that perspective. Maybe it's like she just wants to be acknowledged or recognized that she has busted her butt to get these pieces of paper and make that position. Maybe I don't think she's feeling that way. Your thought is what? She's insecure?
Well, I'm not going to say insecure. I'm just saying if your personality, your vibe, and your aura is defined by your money, then you have none. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right,
what you do isn't who you are.
Thank you.
That's just what you do to pay the mortgage, right?
Right.
So that's not, your money doesn't define you. So it's if a woman thinks that, then she's, in my opinion, she's a little shallow, and
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
I have a slightly alternative perspective, not disagreeing with the guys on the general principle, but just from a standpoint of when people reach a certain level of success and they've earned it, let me just put it that way, and they've earned it, I think a certain level of confidence comes with that process.
True.
that can be misinterpreted as arrogance, unright. Not necessarily that means that it is. I think when people, any man or woman,
that's man and women. You're right.
Yeah, man or woman achieves a certain level of success that they've earned through their hard work, through their effort, through their strategy, through their intelligence. It creates a space that doesn't say I'm better than another human being. I think the language "better" is kind of a turnoff. I think I think what money does give is more options and freedom. But I will say this, I think it's viewed differently because when you walk into a setting of adults, at least amongst men, the first question that a person will ask you is, is what do you do? So even though we say we're not defined by what we do, it's how we pay the bills and things of that nature.
Right.
At least from a male perspective, we're almost always defined by what does he do? If you're with your girlfriends, Christine, the first thing
yes.
the ladies are going to ask, what does he do? Okay. When you get guys together, that's not the first thing they ask. Almost exclusively. That's not what they ask.
Galen, don't be stealing my thunder for my next question. Don't steal the thunder out of it.
And Chris,
okay, I'm just saying. So I think it depends on I think it does depend on the perspective. I don't believe anybody should ever think they're better than another human being. That's just my general rule. However, I do think that certain people bring more things to the table that make them more attractive.
Okay.
But it's how you bring it to the table.
Yes.
That money, it's, for us as men, that's one of 5, maybe one of 10 things that we discuss. And it's probably one of the last things. I mean, when you look at physical appearance, that's going to be the first things we talk about. Personality, that's going to be a second thing we talk about. How does she make me feel? When you start to, what does she do? I've almost never asked, what does she do? That's something he's got to bring up. So when you look at where it ranks, it's very low in our conversations and how we move as to what does she do and how much she make. And then the other part of it, what does her money do for me? If she's only tell me that her money allows her to do things without me, then why do I want her? And both tend to say that when they have money, which is, these are the things that I like to do, almost as if to imply that, hey, you need to be able to do these things or else. I'll leave you with this story. And I would ask this question of a woman. If a man went out, all he had was a 2-for-1 coupon. This is what someone asked me today. A 2-for-1 coupon. Would you continue the date with a man that needed to use a 2-for-1 coupon with you to find out who it was, or would you cut it off at the money point? I can tell you, for a man, if she looked nice, don't nobody care what kind of coupon she used, how she paid for the meal. You're just happy to be in their company.
Well, I'm going to tell you, as a woman, if you had a 2-for-1 coupon, depending on where the coupon was for, it would be okay. But if it's for McDonald's, I don't think I'm going to stay with you long enough to find out, because I don't eat McDonald's. So that's
then if that's an honest answer, then you will be the exception to the rule, because most women these days, we know, ain't calling our brother back. But if I can just add just a quick historical perspective, women historically normally marry up. Men historically marry down. Why is that? We're not checking for your money. It don't matter.
You just cut me right off at the throat, not the knees, at the throat. Chris, look at here, like you was talking to me.
I wasn't talking to you, man.
Hey, Christine, one of the things that that some of the data is telling us now, though, is because many of our younger ladies are have higher education, and more access to higher paying jobs. We've bumped into a situation, a circumstance now to where they're meeting men at the same age who make far less money than they do. Right. And what ends up happening in the situation, the circumstance, and I actually have seen this in a few places where, the woman was shining and this guy's still trying to figure out what he wants to do. And even though she was saying, honey, we're in this together, we're going to figure it out. It created strain on a young marriage or a young relationship because the guy couldn't keep up with the level of finances that the woman was making. And, and it reminded me of the joke that Chris Rock said many years ago. I'm a minister, but I'll catch a Chris Rock every once in a while, y'all. And, and he said, men are only loved for what they do. Not for what he said. Women, children, and dogs are loved for who they are. And I'm not saying that that's 100% accurate, but any man that has ever heard that joke before were all
Mm-hmm.
because the judgment is based upon what you bring to the table, what you do, not who you are, not your being, not child of God. So now we're bumping to a situation where maybe older guys, you know, guys in our age range on this call might be looking at it from one perspective, but these young guys in their 20s, early 30s, they're bumping into women who are running laps around them financially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I want to be totally honest with you. I think that's where women are. Like, it's not it's my feeling when I meet people, I don't get into what they do for a living because I don't really care about that part. I care about who you are as a person. But the thing is, and I get this a lot, and Eric has seen this happen to me in real time. And that's the sad part about it. People look at me and say, you cost too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say about that because I like taking care of myself and I like my style.
Thank you.
And I like, I'm like, obviously I can keep up with this. I need you to keep up with the heart. Don't worry about what's on the exterior. I got this, obviously. I need you to focus on me as a woman, a person. And I think men, they can't get past what they see. And that's what I think the women who are making that money, when I say to you, I got a whole bunch of letters after my name. If you know me, you know that. But if you don't know me, you probably never know that because I don't put it on anything, right? I probably got more degrees than the average person, right? But the thing is, those degrees don't mean anything when I'm talking to somebody. They're meeting Chris. They're not meeting doctor. And I will tell you this, Cedric, because me and you, we talked about this stuff. I don't like, don't introduce yourself as Dr. Whatever. If you're trying to talk to me, just say I'm Christine. Why you gotta be Dr. Burkett, Dr. Shaquita Lolitas, the Chatas, all of that? Just be Chris. And that's the thing. So I get what you're saying. So guys, real quick,
Christine, real quick, I want to throw this out too. You know, there is hope for the women. And this is the hope. All things being equal, if you have 6 or 7 figures, you will be picked over somebody that's got 4. Now, not naive. All things being equal. The problem is, rarely are all things equal. So if women want to find the men they want, they need to work on the other end.
What the hell was that? You done gave me the rug and then pulled the rug from up under me.
That's right.
Rarely are all things equal. If they were equal, you would have been picked by now, Christine.
All things ain't equal. All things ain't equal.
And all things ain't equal is the reason why you're not getting picked, you and your little posse. Okay, thank you so much. Go Reeler, thank you so much for joining us. He said no woman is going to put 100% of the responsibilities while a man sits back for whatever reason. And I mean, definitely.
That's not true. I've seen no responsible woman would do it, but there's plenty of women who got Pookie and May and whatever, staying up in their house, eating their food, driving their cars, spending their money. They call this season when it gets cold in our type of cities where people, these know nothing guys end up hooking up with women that they normally wouldn't hook up with because they need a place to stay for the winter. Let's just call it what it is. So no responsible woman would do that. But it's a lot of guys that are playing the game, and it's women who know the game is being played and they're still willing to play it because they're lonely.
All right, you know what, Galen, I'm sorry, but what you just said is so true. Ladies, some men, it's getting cold. Okay. So
I'm not trying to be funny or disrespect anybody, but I think we just have to be honest. We look at things from our perspective, and we don't take a look and see that there is a lot of people, especially. I don't even know if I want to say this online, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I got Cedric. He'll say something later to make people forget what I'm about to say. Especially guys who have the mothers who are used to taking care of them well into their adulthood. Is when a man gets used to a woman taking care of them consistently, they think that all women are supposed to do it.
I'm going to tell you. So, Go Reeler, thank you. It is a guy, obviously. Rev and I will call them girls, and I definitely agree with you. And that's the thing. So, guys, we got to focus. All right, I'm going to pull your message in just in a few minutes. So, if not money, what makes a woman attractive to a man? And then after that, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Would you like to think about it and I go to a commercial break first? Would you like that?
No, we already know. First, it's gonna be it's gonna be the body. It's gonna be the looks, of course. You know.
Look,
Once again, TNA, ass and titties. Okay, then smile, personality, spirit, all that stuff. But we're gonna look first. We can't see your personality, but we can see that thing. Then we like push up on you. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Okay, whoa. Conversation that goes good. Now we're laughing. So yeah, so all that it ain't got nothing to do with money. It's the spirit in your mind,
Oh my God.
and and the obvious.
Okay, Cedric, so you say it's A and T. Everybody else? I tell you what, let's go to commercial break.
what makes a woman beautiful is access. Will she have the conversation? Because she can look across
Yeah.
and she's
Okay.
access is step one. Can I have a conversation? Then after that, the rest of it kicks in. But I think access is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, folks, we'll be right back after commercial break to hear what Eric and Reverend Galen has to say. And I'm sure Matt is not finished. And Cedric may also throw in a couple more tidbits. We'll be right back after this commercial.
Put your body on the top of mine. Hold me like you never let me go. It feels like I've been giving you the best of me, and you just keep on letting me down. I can't taste it with your lips on mine, that you don't love me like you did that night. I'm so nervous that you'll never feel the same, and you'll never find a place in my arms. Hey, show me love, 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 show me love. I'm not asking you for much, just give me something to feel. Show me love, show me love, show me.
Show me. You know, Cedric, I'm just asking you to show me some love. I don't even know what's happening. You just went full to just A and T. First is A and T, then the rest, you know. And so, Eric, what's up? Is it A and T? Is Cedric saying? Because you know he now first met I got Cedric got an A and T. So if you're joining us late, the question was, I don't want you all to be like, what are they talking about? If it's not the money that makes a woman attractive, what is it? Cedric said it's A and T. And if you don't know what A and T is, Cedric will fill you in on that later. Matt said it's access. And so, Eric, what are you saying it is?
I think it's more than just your money. I think it's a couple of things. She has to be more three-dimensional, right? So for me, and I think for a lot of men, yeah, it is her looks. It's her looks that will bring you to make that initial move, right? Her femininity, her feminine energy. Is she inspirational? Is she spontaneous? It's a whole lot of things that go in. So it's a hodgepodge of things, right, that work together. It's that and factor, and I think that goes true even for women. You know, they say they want a guy that's nice. You know, that has chivalry, but chivalry guys, if that's all he is, he's boring. They're looking for a guy that's got a little edge. He's chivalry and he's got edge, or he's really good in bed, but he makes me laugh, or he's mentally. It's that and factor. So yeah, her money, but what else is she bringing? What else is she bringing to the table?
Okay. All right. So we got the and factor, we got access, and we got A and T. So Reverend Galen.
So the guys are accurate in what they said. Obviously, I think the first thing that attracts most men will be the visual, because men are visual creatures. Even marketing is geared toward catching our eye. So whatever catches the eye, and attractiveness is different things to different people. Obviously, access and the and factor. I would call the and factor that Eric talked about. I would use a different term, but it's the same thing.
Okay.
What need do you feel? And I want to be clear about this. What need do you feel? Because in working in ministry, one of the things that sometimes you bump into is like trying to help a couple put their marriage back together. The man had dipped off and did something. And normally the women will say something like, the woman wasn't attractive, and she doesn't compare to me. She doesn't make the money. Or she works at, I don't want to say some local restaurant, working on barely making it by tips. How did she get my husband? And I just have to tell folks. It's the factor of the need. She laughs at his corny jokes. He gives him the attention and time that he desires. She values his intelligence. It's other factors that go into play. She's accessible, not just in communication, but she's accessible sexually. It's other variables that come into play. So obviously, with the majority of men, you're going to catch them visually first. But then, what are the other aspects that make a person a yes or a no? And you could be allegedly, because we don't know if it's true or not, but you can be a Beyonce and Jay-Z, like, let me take a look over here at this intern, whoever, and they don't seem to make sense until you realize that it's about a need being filled.
Real talk.
Okay, so ladies, obviously you're going to need to rewind this so we can be clear that it's not the money. The money is like there, but to Cedric's point, the A&T, and Cedric, can you fill in the people who just joining us right now? What does A&T mean?
Ass and titties.
So if you got A&T and you have access, I don't even know what to say. And Eric said the and factor. Basically, Galen just summarized it all. So ladies, all I got to say is get your A&T together first. Get that wing tight. Tighten up your A's and your T's. And the thing is, tightening up your A&T, and I want to be clear, I'm not a petite person, so I don't know what you guys think I look like, but I'm not a petite person. But when I say tighten up your A&T, whatever size you are, just tighten up your A&T, get your whatever game on, whatever makes you look appealing and attractive, not to you. And one of the things I do say, I always ask women, do they know their demographic? If you're trying to attract a man, do you know what your demographic wants? Right? And it's different. It depending on where you're at, it's definitely different. And I ask women, and they always say to me, what do you mean? Did you study what it is that you want so that you can home in on that and market to that demographic? And that's really important. A lot of that comes from conversations I have with Matt. So has a woman ever sent you a drink? And what thoughts followed, if any, about that woman? Has a woman ever sent you a drink? And what thoughts followed, if any, about that woman? I'm going to start with you, Reverend Galen.
I don't even remember, to be honest with you. First of all, I don't drink, so it wouldn't matter to me. When I was legally old enough to drink, I actually stopped drinking. So I actually stopped drinking at age 21, and I'm 50 now. So that wouldn't matter to me if I was single, and I'm not. So I don't remember, to be honest with you. And
so long ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Matt, what about you?
Yeah, so I do a lot of conferences, go a lot of different places. So I've been bought dinner, I've been taken places, lots of things. Quite frankly, to me, as a married person, it doesn't mean anything other than a conversation. That's all it means. It's just a conversation. I will thank them for whatever they do. I typically don't accept anything anyway. So so immediately pay for and send the waiter over. That's just how I operate. But it doesn't mean anything more than a conversation.
Okay.
So I did want to, before I go back to about A&T. So I look at married people. I look at married wives, and A&T means something different to every single man. So if you're to this, do not run out and get you a BBL. Do not go run out and get you breast enhancement, because some men like thin, some men like thick, some men like curvy. So A&T means something different to all of us. So I just want to make sure the language that we're using is correct, because Cedric is correct. We all have a look, we all have a demographic. But I can tell you, if you put 10 men in the room, we will grade 10 women differently.
It's all relative.
It is. And I think women do the same thing. So Eric, what's your thoughts behind that? Behind if a woman sent you a drink, what are your thoughts about that woman?
I don't think anything. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, you and I, we talked about this happened actually not long ago. I was just minding my business and woman sent me a drink. I mean, I didn't, I went over and talked to her. We had a conversation, but that was it. I didn't. Now she may have expected something to come of it.
More, yes.
But something more, and I thanked her, and I went on my way.
Okay.
Because I wasn't interested.
Okay, and that we're gonna do a follow-up to that about the drink sending when a woman sends it to you. Cedric?
Coming from a singles man perspective, she's trying to holler. That's the intro. Send a drink, come by. And what Matt said is true, but that's the dangerous part. It all starts with that conversation. Because once I get in that ear, I get in that head. And once I get in that head, that's when all the curiosities and enticement starts to create. Now, so if she's single, that's how it all starts. Now, if one is in a committed relationship, then like the Merriweather said, they're not even going to accept it. They're going to send it back or whatever. But once you start, it all starts with that conversation. That's why, like the moms always say, you can't talk too long. And you can't stay gone too far, or you can't come back. So yeah, so that's the intro. Send them a drink, talk. Then next thing you know, possibilities are being created.
They're interested.
Okay, so this is the thing. I send drinks all the time, and I don't want anything.
Okay, that's good.
I don't want anything.
That's not true.
That's serious.
Now, wait a minute, Christine. I'm not with you in these, and all these guys live in the same metropolitan area that you do. But let me just let me just say this, Christine.
Yeah.
Everything that a person does has a conscious or unconscious payoff.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. But
okay,
you know
so
what? For me,
I don't want anything. You might not, even if you don't want something from the guy. You get some level of payoff from doing it, or you wouldn't do it.
Oh yeah. See, for me, I'm just a big flirt, and I just like the whole fact that I sent him a drink, and the fact that I don't want him makes him want me. So that was the whole
point. My God, you playing reindeer games. You playing reindeer games. Get out of here.
So the problem with that, Christine,
I use the drink as a calling card.
Yeah, but see, but you got to recognize that the problem with that is this.
Yeah.
From again, just talking about basic universal principles. What you radiate, you attract.
Yes.
You can't say, okay, I want a committed relationship with a guy, and then your energy is stop and go because you're playing with your energy when you do that. So
playing.
Cedric, don't even start. So you were correct. And just to be clear, I just like to flirt with people sometimes. Sometimes it's not about anything.
Flirting in and of itself, flirting is for a purpose. And when it's not fulfilling its purpose, it's creating stop and go energy. It's saying, I want something, then I don't. I want something, then I don't.
You're right.
And so
what if a man did that? It's okay, Chris. It's okay for you to do that, but it's not okay for a man to do that. And he's just flirting.
Let me tell you something. I like when guys send me drinks. I don't think anything of it unless they come over and you know me, they start rubbing my shoulder. We talked about that.
But by and large, if a man sends a woman a drink, then that's a purpose. Right?
Oh, yeah.
In general. And so if you're sending a drink to a guy, then there's really a purpose. What you're saying is that I'm interested.
But Chris's purpose is just for the attention. That's all.
But look.
Yeah.
and what I'm saying is that if a guy did that, then he would be labeled as, it's like there's a double standard here.
Right.
Chris, you said
It
this
is.
the guy did
It
it.
is.
Like,
But
oh
wait,
no,
but
that's
we
not
want to be
he.
clear, Eric. Most women, when they send a drink, there is an intent behind it. It is because they want to get to know you. It's just me. I'm just an oddball like that, and I get that part, right?
Well, Matt,
Sometimes I just
Matt's
like
a
to flirt.
matchmaker. What would you say to that, Matt? You're a matchmaker, like literally.
Yeah. What I would say is this, we have to have honest conversations with ourselves.
Yes.
When you are sending a person a drink at a bar who you do not know, you are sending a signal that I want to get to know you. That is universally accepted. So
You're correct.
that is your intent. Now, say to yourself, I'm just flirting. But so what Cedric said is that opens the door. When that man comes over and talks to you, especially if you do it to someone who you're not interested in, you have to close the door to other men in the bar who are watching this interaction saying, I will talk to her, but since she's interested in old boy,
you know what? You're right. And I'm gonna respond to that in a minute. I just want to go through some comments. Anissa, of course, she loves Cedric. She says Cedric never disappoints. His fan club is on the route. Okay, Cedric is my man. Cedric, you always had a little fan club happening. It's your realness. I don't understand that. And he said, yes, she has. I felt she was assertive and confident, turned me on honestly, and she was attractive. We ended up being good friends. So, I mean, that's really cool when you can do that. So I want to be clear. So a couple things. I never sent a drink to a man I'm not attracted to. And I'm also the person that I walked up to a guy and I said, listen, one, do you want me to get you to drink now or after I fill you up? Because you wore this tight shirt for a reason. Your muscles are all buckling and you wanted somebody to notice you. So I'm about to fill you up, but do you want the drink before or after? Because when I give you the drink, I'm gone because I'm just here to fill you up. To this day, that guy's a really good friend of mine. He thought I was
Hashtag
hilarious.
me too. Hashtag me too movement. Hashtag me too movement. Men have rights too. We would be in jail if we did that.
You tell a woman I just want to fill you up.
Right.
Okay, now ladies,
Good and Junior.
That's right.
Exactly. Okay, so
Christine, did you get what you wanted?
Huh?
Did you get what you wanted?
I did. So the thing is, I got a really good friend, and honestly, this happened years ago, and we laugh about it often because he thinks I'm hilarious. And he's never had a woman approach him like that before. Okay, but I'm going to get to a couple viewers, and we're going to go to another question. Flirt doesn't look looking good is a man who is interested in you. Bad signal. Did I read that correct?
Yeah, he said,
I don't know. It didn't sound right.
Yes.
It's basically like if you flirt, it's a bad signal to a guy.
Oh
if
my God!
You don't want him, you flirting. If you're
he's
flirting,
interested in you and you're flirting with him, then but there's nothing. Then that's not a good. It's not a good look.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you're right. If a guy's interested in me and I'm not interested in him, I do clear that up that I'm not interested. But if I'm filling your chest up, okay, it could go right or left. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm open, but if I'm filling you up, it could go down.
Or it can go up or down.
Cedric, this is a PG-13 show. No, it's not.
He said left or right.
Cedric does seem to be honest with his responses, and that's cool. Cedric, you always got a little fan club, I swear. Chris, you are hilarious. Fill you up. You're right. I do fill people up, and I'm totally transparent about that. But not now. I mean, okay, because y'all hang out with some of y'all. Okay, this year I have not felt up anybody. This year.
Hey, Chris, if I can piggyback on something you said earlier that I think was a very, very great point that may have been glossed over when you said that you like to wear nice things. And some men size you up and be like, I can't afford you. Well, then those men you don't need. So women don't ever douse your shine to make it easier for somebody else, because as they say, a real brother, be it blue collar, entrepreneur, hustler, CEO, whatever, regardless of how he gonna size you up, he gonna step to you. Now, once he steps to you, that's when that personality comes out. Now, if you got your ass on your shoulders, when you open your mouth, something different. But if you like pleasant and down to earth, and you're not going to order no goddamn $1,000 bottle of a Cristal and be happy with a beer, then cool.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you this conversation is getting hot and heavy. Before we go to our next question, we're going to go a quick commercial break. But when we come back, the question I'm going to ask you, as a man, do you feel that a woman does bring some dollars to the table, adds another layer of financial security for you and the family? We'll answer that question as soon as we get back from this commercial break. And Cedric, I know you're not going to disappoint. Be right back.
I gotta tell you something I could do. I could be running around chasing you, but I won't. Cause I got better things to do. Rather spend my precious time chasing somebody who loves me too. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door,
Thing about you calling out to me, I got to hold ya. Baby, I'm not running around looking for nobody else. I've got one thing on my mind, I already hear the bells. I'm a victim of love, calling out to heaven above for ya. I mean every little word. I can't get you out of my mind. Oh baby, every curse like a new adventure, pulling me into the center close. So yeah, baby, I'm not playing.
Hey guys, welcome back. And I just want to say, I get now what Joe was saying. He was saying flirting doesn't look good when another man is interested in you, and you're correct. So if I'm in a somewhat of a relationship or getting to know someone, I'm not going to go out and flirt with somebody. Like, I wouldn't do that. I think that's extremely disrespectful.
Christine, it's another issue that wasn't addressed in that scenario.
Okay, go ahead.
So you go over, send a drink to somebody, make a guy think he's interested, and you're not. You're just playing for attention, and he puts his time and energy on you. Not only does it stop options or slow down options for you, it slows down options for ladies, because dating is competitive. So why'd you go over there and talk to her? You looked all interested while you over there laughing and joking with her, and now I'm second fiddle, I'm third fiddle. You have to take into account that it messes up the rhythm on both ends.
So let me understand it. So a woman who's like me, you're saying
No.
I'm
saying
in general. No, but you're saying, like, I'm just going to say me, because, I'm okay with that. So I should take in consideration another woman who may be interested in this guy versus my level of interest in him before I do something like that.
But you're only interested at the level of playing games.
Stop playing games, Chris.
Yeah, it's game playing.
Game.
Okay, y'all know.
Keep it real.
Yeah,
Real,
game.
These are what Cedric said. You playing reindeer games.
Look, here go Gerald. Have a great point. Really, Gerald? That's what we're doing?
It also, to piggyback on what he said, it messes, I'm going to go back to you. It also messes up you, because things that you're looking for in a woman.
Yeah.
Femininity, intentionality, and then truthfulness or realness. And if you do that, when you do send a drink to the next guy, you trained yourself to be so flirtatious that I don't know whether to take you seriously or just home, then that's all it's going to be. You will never move to the next level. So
Okay,
and at this stage in our lives, we're not playing games.
All right, so ladies, real talk.
We need to be intentional.
Yeah, and like attracts like. So half
Okay.
committed people attract half committed people.
Okay, so folks, just remember that. So ladies, don't send a drink to more than one man when you're in a place. And if you're going to send it, be intentional about what you're doing when you send that drink, because it's sending a message. And I think those are all great points, 100%. So ladies, please recognize that.
And the T is truthful, because when I come over or when a man comes over, whatever you say after you sent that drink had better line up with
Did you say it had better line up? So if a woman sends you a drink and she was just saying, I was just acknowledging you or saying hello, what is that? What's that feeling? What's going to happen? What's that thought?
Mixed signals. It's mixed signals.
It's mixed signals.
That's But
Okay, ladies,
this is mixed signals.
Yes.
Ladies, do not send mixed signals. If you're sending a man a drink, you need to be intentional about why you're sending that drink, and do not send a man a drink unless you're ready to do a closing. So as a man, do you feel a woman that has that does bring some dollars to the table and adds another layer of financial security? Like, what do you think about that woman? What's your thoughts about her?
Are we married?
You could be in a serious relationship or potentially going into a relationship. What do you think about that woman?
And she's bringing a level of financial security with her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hot. No question. That's hot,
Even
because
better.
we put our nickels together and we can build something. That's always attractive.
It's teamwork. At that point, Chris, what's mine and yours?
Around their neck. A woman
Okay,
a woman who brings finances to the relationship. That's in addition to the other stuff. That we winning.
To the A&T, she got to bring the A&T, the access, and some dollars.
No, I'm saying the dollars isn't going to make or break. The dollars that she brings is a bonus.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, so don't try to be slick, Chris. You just try to act, and she has to bring. That wasn't a question. That wasn't a question, okay? So like Eric just said, that is a nice bonus, because when we're together, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. We're gonna rock out together.
All right, so let me ask you guys a question. When a woman does bring some bank to the table, and to Eric's point, what if that woman comes into the relationship and she's like, you handle these bills with your money and I'm gonna handle these bills with my money? What's your thoughts about that?
I think couples should do what works for them. Too many times we have situations and circumstances where people try to blanket what this is society or my parents or culture, versus let's do what works for us. As I tell every couple before I officiate a wedding, you all are creating what you want your marriage to look like. Now you need to get clear about it and function from that standpoint. All of these rules that people come up with is just nonsense when it's all said and done, because if it doesn't work for you, it don't matter.
Right.
And
okay, so I want to say, Miko, thanks so much for joining us tonight. She says, I'm late, but excited to catch you live. New subscriber via the post from Reverend McDowell. Well, thank you so much, Miko, for joining us. We'd love to have you here.
Wherever you're finding me from. Let me know where you're finding me from. My podcast, Facebook, Christ Universal Temple, Johnny Coleman Institute. Let me know wherever you have found me. Let me know. I would love that in the comment section.
Okay, so Miko, make sure you put in comments where you found Reverend McDowell's post about the podcast tonight. And so Galen said, Gerald said, based on what we just talked about, he said, that's not a unit, stay single. So women, when you go into a relationship, and that's a great point, when you go into a relationship, and this is one of the things that I've said time and time again, I'm great at doing what I do. I love going to work. I love making that money, but I really want my husband to manage. I don't mind coming to the weekly meetings and you telling me what my allowance is, and we working on investing in this and doing that. I'm very submissive, and people may not think that about me. I'm the total opposite of Christine, who works and runs a company, versus Chris at home. So I'm good with that. But I will say this,
as Brother Galen said, whatever works for your household. Every household is different, but
every household is different.
But I believe in having clarity. There's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, you know what? We gonna divvy up based on who can handle whatever." And if things change, it's gonna change. But once again, what works for you might not work for me, might not work for them. Yes.
And to Cedric's point, what I was going to say is, to Cedric's point, you need to have a conversation, because I've seen a lot of marriages and relationships go south because they come in the door with the man thinking we're going to do it together. The woman's like, just give me my 5 bills that I got to pay. And it's like, we're not doing it together. And she like, no, just give me my 5 bills.
and she makes, so let me ask this question. So if she makes just as much money as he does, when you guys go out, who reaches for the check?
Oh, well, you already know. For me, a lot of times I'll reach. I think it should be both. I think women should reach for the check just as much as the man does. But women have said, well, he's dating me, and we're going to get him more.
No, we're dating each other. We're dating each other.
We're dating each other. But y'all know, don't be getting up into next week's show, Eric. Don't do it. You're trying to tip all up in the next week's show. Y'all, next week's show is Who is the Prize? Okay, so y'all better watch it next week, because you're going to be surprised at what the men say and don't say next week. So Eric trying to dip up in the next week. So
I think Matt was trying to say something.
We're talking about finances.
So when relationships don't work, it's about money. Money is the number one reason why relationships long-term don't work. And not having a conversation and then understanding, you may say you're going to go 50-50, but the caller said it's a unit. That 50-50 may go 90-10, may go, it will change.
It will change. And that's the thing. So ladies, when you're making those kind of dollars, and the other thing is, I know a woman who's a doctor, and she's paying more in her tuition loans back than she makes a year. So you're a doctor making X amount of dollars, but 80% of it is going back towards repaying you becoming a doctor. And that's another thing too, that when people come into a relationship, and that's why you need to buy the 5 F's to Love card game with over 2,500 questions across 16 categories. And one of the questions in there, see, I did that little infomercial. One of the questions in there under finance is, what debt do you bring? Because a lot of people don't understand. You may make $500,000, but if your debt is $400,000, you really just bringing $100,000 to the table, if that, after taxes. So don't come popping collar on a 500 when your contribution is really 80. And then he really is bringing $500,000. Those are two like separate. That's a real conversation. So let me ask you guys, if a woman does come to you in that situation, and this is the scenario I'm going to give you. If you gave a woman $500 and said, how are you going to spend this money? And they spend it on a pair of red bottoms, what would be your thought? And Matt, I'm going to start with you.
Well, listen, the way I think, I wouldn't think nothing of it. If I give you a gift, it's a gift, right? That's just how I think.
Okay. Galen?
If you gave a person a gift, you have no right to determine how they spend it.
Okay. Eric?
I totally agree with both my brothers. I gave her a gift. She can do whatever she wants to do with it.
Okay. Cedric?
Where I'm in the bedroom. Where I'm in the bedroom. I'm good. That was a worthwhile investment.
Why do I even think? Okay, Gerald, thank you so much for watching us again tonight. Commitment is everything in a marriage. Yes, money, joint bank account, life insurance, mortgage, etc. And a lot of men feel that way when you come into a marriage. It's a shared thing. And so Gerald also said, great point, Chris. Well, thank you, Gerald. He wasn't so hard on me tonight. So what I'm going to say to you, ladies, when you go into these relationships, you need to have the bigger conversation about how he looks at money versus how you look at money, and what the debts are within that conversation. Because like Matt said, money has gotten a lot of people divorced. 100%. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys, do you think a woman that makes big bucks come with an alpha woman persona? Do you?
Some do, but I think
everybody's with a blank face.
Some do, but once again, I think the ones who do that really have low self-esteem issues because their bravado and that alpha female disposition is attached to their money. Because when you are a real one like that, you real like that when you broke and when you paid. Period.
So Christine, this is what I would to add on to what Cedric. A lot of women who make a lot of money, who have all these degrees, have very limited social exposure. Many of them not dating class. They weren't out at the parties like these other young ladies. So they're now thrust upon us, dressed to the nines. They got their body made over, but inside they're 14 or 15 years old. They are not mature as you would think they were because their time in a book. And for those women who find themselves in that situation, where, okay, at the end of your 14 or 16 or 20 years of school, you're now making a lot of money. You need to go out and live life in the real world. Ain't those experiences.
Wow. I like that. Okay, so Reverend, what do you think?
Okay, they gave such in detail answers. Give me the whole question one more time to make sure I'm clear. They gave great detailed answers. Oh, okay. I think that a person who is successful has to have a certain level of confidence, whether a person calls it alpha or not. The issue is, do you know how to turn it off when it's time?
Yeah.
You know, so some as a man, you know that okay, if you're a supervisor, manager, business owner, with making it happen type person out in the business world, you can't be that same guy when you come home with your lady, with your children. You have to know how to tone that down. What some of the challenges that comes into play that I've heard some guys complain about, in my experience, has been the lady doesn't know how to turn it off. And because the thing about it is, it's just, let's call it what it is. Being a lady in a male-dominated culture, many times, sometimes being the only lady in the room requires you to be double and spade tough. Yeah. But when it comes time to engage with the person you want to have intimate relationships with or family relationships with, you have to learn how to tone that down to be able to meet people where they need to be met. I'm not going to say any names, but I have a friend of mine who works in a very stressful environment. And, her thing is when she's around us, she still talks like she's in that environment. And sometimes I have to lovingly say, hey, you're not at work.
All back.
All right. And that's a great point. And I think that's something that a lot of women need to pick up. And so real quick, Gerald said, great point, Rev. He also said, depends on the debt. I'm not helping pay off your Men's Warehouse credit card. That's from a past relationship. So basically said, if you was dressing another man, I'm not going to help you pay that bill. But I tell you what, Christine got one bill she got to pay. We got to go to commercial. I'll be right back.
Spot so confused, oh baby, tasting so sweet, acting so rude. Won't you tell me what I'm supposed to do? Yeah. High and low, in between, acting out, make a scene. Working on our body language, Baby, now tell me exactly how you feel. I'm just trying to keep it real. Let me love you on the inside. Love you on the inside. Tell me exactly what you mean. You mean everything to me. Let me love you on the inside. Love you on the inside. useless. You keep me feeling so clueless. I'd like to dream, keep on dreaming about us, babe. Hey. Now tell me exactly how you feel. I'm just trying to keep it real. Let me love you on the inside. Love you on the inside.
Well, hey guys, we are back. And I just want to say, one, I appreciate everybody giving me their honest opinion when it comes to this, because a lot of women who are making some dollars are very confused. They really are. And Matt, because he has his matchmaking company, his business is flourishing because there are a lot of women out there like me who want to mate, and we're thinking the money was the key, and then now we got the key, and we're like, the key don't fit in the door. You can't even get in, and you're locked out. So one of the things that I want to say is I really appreciate you guys having this conversation in real time, you know, about what's happening and what's not happening. So one of the final questions I want to talk to you guys about is this one. What would you say to a woman that has worked hard to get her level of professionalisms, there should be lisms there, and financials, her professionally and financially, and to be more attractive to a man? So this woman has busted her katukas. And I don't want y'all to talk to the ladies like you talking to me, but I need you to talk to them for real, each of you, because everybody's coming from a different perspective. So what do you say to that woman? And so I'm going to start off with you, Eric. What do you say to that woman?
Her butt to get where she is. Congratulations.
Like she's busted her katukas.
Well, continue doing what you're doing. I mean, you know, we living in a time where women are making just as much, if not more, than men. So, you know, don't lose who you are, right? Understand that, you know, the money that you make doesn't really define who you are, right? So continue doing what you're doing, understanding that, again, your money doesn't make who you are. Continue to work on yourself, work on other areas of your life. It's not just the money that makes you attractive, it's other things as well.
Wow. Okay. I like that. All right, Matt.
All right. So I would tell her, in order to be whole, you need 7 things, 7 areas of life. So she has her professional development down. She has her personal finance. She has her professional degrees. That's great. What doesn't she have? She needs to get her psychology right. She needs professional help to talk about the issues that she's facing with. She needs a trainer to get her physical fitness right. She needs to make sure that her prayer life is right. And that way she can, whatever faith she is, she needs to have a good prayer life, because this is all going to be stressful. And then the last thing that she needs help to find a partner. And that's what we do in Bride Ready and executive coaching, is we help in that. How do you find a partner part? But if you're going to be whole, you need all 7 areas. Now, what happens if you decide you don't want to be whole in all 7 areas? There's no magic button that says you have to be balanced. She can continue doing what she's doing and live a fulfilling, rewarding life. But I would offer to her that in 2022, there's no reason why she can't have it all. You can't bring your whole self to work if you're not whole. So she needs to get whole.
I like that. Oh my gosh. And so, Galen, what would you say?
You know, Matt's answer was so good. I was actually, you know, sitting there pondering, like, I wish I'd have said that. So I would say, yeah, again, what Matt said, Eric, kudos for getting your success and financial life together. I wouldn't say that they should be doing that to get a guy. They should be doing that for their own benefit, so they can compliment someone, not to necessarily get someone, because I think that can be a letdown unconsciously when you think that I've created this career so I can make myself more attractive to a guy. And then the guy tells you, I need somebody I can laugh with. I want somebody I can, that communicates, this person that gets my quirkiness, a person who
Right.
has patience with me, et cetera, the other things that guys talk about. So again, I would just say that, what I always tell ladies anytime they ask me, men are simple. They will tell you what they want. If you ask them, you do not have to make stuff up. If you line up 100 married couples and you start talking about the problems that the man has specifically, we're not talking about the women, the men, we're talking about men having
Right.
issues with the ladies. But the majority of the time, the guy will say, I communicated what I wanted, I communicated what I needed, and she made up something else. So it's and see the guy's nodding because 26 years in working in ministry has showed me this, and I'm not making this up. So you don't have to make up a game plan. The guy, through his interest, through his desires, through his needs, through his intentions, through his actions, will tell you what he wants. And if this is the guy that you're zeroing in on, pay attention to him, become a student of what he likes, and guess what? You'll make life easy for you.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Cedric, I hate to say it. Go, Cedric.
Well, you hate to say what?
Like, I don't need, do I need a beat button right now? Beep,
No.
beep, beep, beep.
Hey, once again, the brothers broke it all down beautifully. I can't add anything to that, but I will say to that woman, be kind, be honest, be humble, listen, be considerate, and don't embody this new I'm a boss bitch because you got money. First of all, you're not a bitch. Number two, real bosses don't go around saying I'm a boss. Okay, real bosses don't do that.
Right.
So shut out all that ignorance and just be down to earth, laugh, talk, be open, and be real with each other. And your money ain't got jack to do with that. That's all.
I'm going to say, before I say anything, let me get Miko in because I like when viewers view in. Miko, thank you for joining us for the first time tonight. She says, I've been listening to Rev since 2020 online. I'm in Metro Atlanta, started out with CUT. My parents are longtime members and remember him as a young man. And then in True Transform, she watches your podcast of True Transform.
I appreciate the support.
Matt, I just want to make it clear. Cook says she's switching off the Cedric team and on with you. She said, you're killing the game tonight.
Traitor.
She switched over. She took over. Miko said, I saw the post on the podcast on his Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so ladies, I want to say this to you in all realness. The reason why I am the way I am is because all of these guys feed into my life. They keep me real laid back and real humble. They really help me stay focused on my faith. I love that, I had an issue the other day, and every time I call Eric, he answers the phone, hey, sunshine. I don't care what's going on. And the first thing he said is, who I got to go get, Chris? What's going on? See, to me, you guys don't understand when you're a woman and you got real men in your lives to show you what a real man should treat you like. And these are my friends. Mm-hmm. I love that. When I text Galen, I told Galen, I said, listen, something's going on. He said, I'm going to stop right now and pray for you. Mm-hmm. He didn't say, give me a minute. I'm going to stop right now. I don't even know what he was doing. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? That means everything to me, that if I call any of these guys about anything, they're there and their teaching is showing me through their relationships how I should be treated. That's why God can't just come to me with no buffoonery. That's right. I'm gonna be looking at all these brothers like I'm gonna have to take you around them and they gonna shut this down. So you gotta come correct. And so what I'm saying is that helps me with that, but it also helps me with me, my person. Mm-hmm. Again, I think I've never told anybody. I don't even think they know how many degrees I got. I don't even talk like that. It's not important. It's not important. What's important is who you are. And one of the things is Cedric ain't gonna never let me pop no collar. He will surely cut the collar off if I get to popping it in the first place. And so I want to say to you guys, you have to treat yourself a certain way. And like they said, don't take your glam down to sacrifice who you are as a woman in that space. So we're going to go to one more commercial break. When I come back, each of these guys are going to tell you what's going on with them. They got upcoming events, where to follow them, where to find them, and don't be a stalker. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. So, Gayla, I'm going to start with you. Why we just finished your commercial for next week's podcast. So I figure perfect intro to talk about what do you have coming up this week that people need to tune into?
Well, I'm always doing different things. Tomorrow I'll be on Facebook, at the Christ Universal Temple Facebook page. Actually, I'll be teaching the lesson at noon live, but you can check it later. I'm going to be doing a recap of what we call the Dream Series up to that point that we're doing at my church. Next week, I have a couple of podcasts on Wednesdays. I have my the Meta Behind Relationships podcast, which is my new podcast on metaphysics and relationships. How do you apply consciousness transformation, universal laws, and spiritual principles to relationships? And then there's my podcast I've been doing for over a decade now, Truth Transforms, which is on Unity. Mind Body, not Unity. So I'm so used to saying the old Mind Body Spirit.fm, and you can find it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, I'll be back here next Thursday. I have a class, but my class that I'm teaching right now is closed, which is the Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. But that class is closed right now, so you have to catch me the next time when I'm offering a class, which I'll normally post on my Truth Transforms with Reverend Galen McDowell Facebook page. My Instagram page, which is Galen McDowell. Normally where I post the majority of my stuff. My personal page on Facebook is not open to the public. But on those two places, that's the easiest way to get in contact with me. If you have questions, you have concerns, you have whatever, want to just let me know how what I'm saying in these podcasts or other things that I'm doing is helping you in your life. I would love to hear from you. So reach out. Again, Facebook, Truth Transforms with Reverend Galen McDowell. On Instagram, just under Galen McDowell, and find me. I'm findable.
And guys, if you follow the 5 F's to Love or me, you can also get to Galen that way because he actually follows me. So there you go. If you can't find him, you can find him on my page and get to him that way. Thank you so much. We'll be right back, Galen. So Cedric, what's up? What you doing? What you got going on?
What's going on?
I know you getting ready to close down Seti's Lounge. And you about to have a big bash on the 29th. I know that.
Yeah, but that's not open to the public, though. That's invite only, sweetheart. Okay, so, but yeah. No, so just everything is about my music festival, of course, but I will come out the lab for that to do events for people who retain me to make their dreams come true. As I said before, I was the #1 revenue generating event coordinator at the Charles H. Wright Museum for years. So that big, beautiful museum was my playground, and I made dreams come true. So I do small, intimate gatherings to weddings to corporate events. But outside of being retained for that, everything is about my music festival. So folks can reach me. First of all, you can follow me on my Facebook page, Summer Oasis Music Festival. My personal page is Cedric McDougal. My website is glampishlife.com. And my email is somf@glampishlife. So hit me up regarding my festival or any event needs that you may have. Yes.
And guys, I'm going to tell you, he's absolutely amazing. You guys, we're going to do a tag so you guys can see what he does at Summer Oasis. When I tell you that outdoor glamping experience is rock star. It's like nothing else I've ever experienced.
And you and I are talking about doing some things as well. So stay tuned to 5 F's of Love for some incredible experiences of the diaspora.
All right. So thanks, Seth. All right. So Eric, what's up? What you doing?
Yes, what's happening? You know, well, I'm closing out the year right now. We're just getting ready. The job has got me so busy right now. We're closing out the year. We're doing a lot of charitable events, Adopt a Child for Christmas, Focus Hope. We do a lot of that kind of stuff.
That's the GM Cares, guys. That's the GM Cares.
GM Cares. We got a lot of that going on right now. So that's pretty much what I'm focused on right now. That's all we're doing. So I'm trying to close out the year, you know, big.
I'm excited, Eric. We got our meeting next week with our patent person. I'm excited about our stuff.
Okay.
Like I'm really excited about it.
So
that's like that's when that geek girl comes out. Everybody doesn't get a chance to see her. The geeker comes out.
They don't see the geek. They don't know about the geek in you.
No, they see the glam. They don't know when all this come off. I'm just a straight geeker and a nerd. They have no idea.
You are a geek. It's crazy. I love it though. I love it though. That's what makes you unique. I love it.
Thank you. Did you guys hear that? That's what makes me unique. All right. So look, Matt, what's up? What you doing?
So look, this week is a big week for us. Here in Gainesville, we have LSU playing the University of Florida. So the Airbnb is ready. If you're in Florida, come take a look at the Airbnb. I will be in Miami preparing the physical fitness trainer. We have a retired fashion model who helps all of our clients get their skin right, get their face right, get their body wrapped right. So you can get that TNA that Cedric was talking about. You know, I love that Cedric. He's amazing. And then the last thing we have, of course, is Bowman Vineyard Winery in South Carolina. Please come check us out outside of Charleston. The family has lots of things going on this weekend. I think there's a couple birthday parties. And if you just need a place to relax and center yourself, right? And center yourself, come check us out. We're on Instagram, Matt Bowman FL, on Facebook, Matt Bowman. All the people who want to take a peek into my life. And so that's what I got going. I'm super excited about the 5 F's to Love. If you haven't checked out 5 F's to Love, be sure you do that. So much great content. We need you to subscribe to this channel, and then learn all about the things that I'm doing and all my co-hosts are doing.
Yeah. And we're going to be updating our 5 F's to Love website. So it's going to have a snapshot of each of the cast members from each of the shows. And it's going to give you some information about them and where to find them. It'll give you links to their websites, their social media sites, so it'll be easier to find them. And I think, Matt, we should be announcing the Relationship Summit by December, right? That's going to be hot. It's going to be in Miami. Y'all better get on the 5 F's to Love Relationship Summit. I just want to be clear. It's going to be hot. Not just because it's in Miami, but it's going to be hot. All right. So listen, guys, I want to say it's always a pleasure. I really appreciate everybody's support and love. And ladies, I just want to be clear. It's Thursday Night Football. And the mere fact that I got the guys on doing this with me for an hour says a lot. But anybody who knows me, I don't even socialize on Thursdays because it's Thursday Night Football. So listen, thanks again. Thank you so much for watching us here at the 5 F's to Love. We'll see you next week, because next week's show is about what, guys? What we talk about next week? Who's the prize? Is you is or is you ain't? My baby. I'll see you guys next week, and be sure to subscribe to the 5 F's to Love channels and social media sites. We would love for you to share so you can be a part of our conversations. And we always share your comments when we're on live. See you guys next week.
My name is Christine Burkett, the inventor of the 5 F's to Love. This is a compatibility app. It's an app that gives you an opportunity to rate words that start with the letter F in chronological order of importance to you, to help you find your one true love, your soulmate, and the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So after you've taken the time to rate your F's in chronological order, you send a link to the person, I don't know, you just met, or the person you've been dating for quite some time. Or maybe it's the person you've been married to for 30 to 40 to 50 years. And then you compare your top 5 F's to find out what things you have in common and things that you may perhaps need to work on. This is taking a simplistic perspective on how to find your one true love, your soulmate, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And thank you